Welcome to the Deep Dive. This time we're diving into selections from Introduction to Modern Economic Growth by Daron Acemoglu. Given your existing knowledge of economics, we can bypass the introductory concepts and delve right into the thought-provoking content. Acemoglu's work reveals some fascinating insights into the factors shaping global economic disparities, and it's these insights that we'll be exploring today.
Acemoglu starts by painting a stark picture of the vast economic differences between nations. He highlights the staggering disparity in income and consumption between the richest and poorest countries, a gap that has grown to over 30-fold.
That's quite remarkable when you consider the implications. Acemoglu presents data using a measure called PPP-adjusted GDP per worker, which takes into account varying costs of goods across countries. This means that a worker in a richer nation is not only producing 30 times more output than their counterpart in a poorer nation, but also consuming 30 times more. This really underscores the magnitude of the gap.
What's particularly interesting is that this disparity wasn't always so pronounced. Acemoglu's data shows that while differences existed in the past, they were significantly smaller before 1820. The question then becomes, what factors led to this acceleration in divergence?
Of course, we know that capital accumulation plays a role in economic growth, but Acemoglu cautions against attributing success solely to these so-called proximate causes. He argues that doing so would be an oversimplification.
He uses the example of South Korea and Singapore, which experienced rapid economic growth, compared to Nigeria, which has struggled with stagnation. This contrast underscores the need to look beyond readily apparent factors like capital accumulation and dig deeper for the roots of economic success.
So if it's not just about capital, then what other factors might be at play? Acemoglu seems to be hinting that culture alone doesn't provide a complete explanation.
That's right. He points to the contrasting trajectories of South and North Korea as evidence. Despite sharing a common cultural heritage, these two nations have diverged dramatically in terms of economic performance. This suggests that cultural factors, while important, are not the sole determinant of economic success.
So where does Acemoglu suggest we direct our attention? If factors like capital accumulation and culture don't fully explain the story, what other forces are shaping these global economic disparities?
Acemoglu posits that institutions and the policies they shape play a crucial role in a nation's economic trajectory. He highlights the importance of secure property rights, well-functioning markets, and accessible contractual opportunities. These institutional elements, he argues, create an environment conducive to investment and efficient resource allocation, allowing for sustained economic growth.
He presents some compelling data to support this claim, doesn't he?
Yes. He demonstrates a strong correlation between the level of property rights protection in a country and its GDP per capita. The visual representation of this correlation in the book is quite striking and makes a powerful case for the influence of institutions on economic outcomes.
This perspective really challenges the notion that geography alone dictates economic destiny. Acemoglu tackles this misconception head-on with a concept he calls the reversal of fortune, which he observes among former European colonies.
The idea is fascinating. Areas that were relatively wealthy and urbanized in 1500 now find themselves lagging behind economically. This unexpected reversal suggests that factors beyond simple geographic advantages are at play.
So how does he explain this historical shift in economic fortunes? What led to this reversal?
Acemoglu argues that the type of institutions established by European colonizers played a significant role. In regions that were already prosperous, they imposed extractive institutions focused on resource extraction for the benefit of the colonizers. While in less developed areas, they established settlement institutions that fostered long-term development and growth. This difference in institutional legacies, he argues, has had a lasting impact on the economic trajectories of these regions.
It's a compelling argument, demonstrating the enduring impact of institutions on economic development, long after the initial conditions have changed. Acemoglu then shifts his focus to the crucial role of human capital. He moves beyond the traditional emphasis on physical capital and delves into the intricacies of measuring human capital and its impact on earnings.
One concept he explores is the Mincerian rate of return to schooling. This concept suggests a complex relationship between education, earnings, and a nation's overall human capital stock. It raises the question of whether simply measuring years of schooling accurately reflects a nation's human capital, or whether other factors are at play.
This suggests that there's more to human capital than just the quantity of education, the quality of education, the skills acquired. And the ability to apply those skills in a productive manner all likely play a role. It's a nuanced perspective on the relationship between education and economic outcomes.
Absolutely. Acemoglu challenges another common assumption, the idea of uniform access to technology. He posits that differences in technological advancement across nations contribute significantly to income disparities. He then explores methods for estimating these technology differences, which are not always straightforward.
This suggests that it's not just about having access to technology, but also about the level, type, and application of technology available. This distinction seems crucial for understanding the varying levels of economic development across the globe.
Precisely. Acemoglu examines the relationship between capital productivity and what he calls calibrated productivity differences. These measurements are complex, but the key takeaway is that technology differences are substantial and play a vital role in shaping a nation's economic standing.
Now, moving into the realm of dynamic optimization, Acemoglu underscores the importance of the transversality condition in ensuring economically meaningful solutions.
In simpler terms, the transversality condition acts as a safeguard, ensuring that our economic models don't veer into unrealistic or implausible scenarios. It keeps our analyses grounded in economic reality.
He goes on to delve into the intricacies of optimal growth paths, emphasizing the importance of striking a balance between short-term gains and long-term sustainability. This highlights the tension between maximizing immediate benefits and ensuring continued prosperity in the future, a concept relevant not only for individual economic decisions, but also for national policies.
Acemoglu then introduces the concept of dynamic programming, which he presents as a powerful tool for tackling intricate economic problems. It's a more advanced concept, but its broad applications in economic modeling make it worth noting.
Dynamic programming involves breaking down complex problems into smaller, more manageable subproblems. This approach allows economists to analyze and solve these subproblems recursively, ultimately arriving at a solution for the larger, more intricate problem.
This method highlights the sophisticated tools and techniques used by economists to understand and model the complex forces driving economic development, and fostering a culture of continuous learning within organizations and society as a whole. Acemoglu then delves into the measurement of human capital, acknowledging that it is a challenging task with no single perfect measure.
While years of schooling and educational attainment levels are commonly used metrics, they don't fully capture the complexity of human capital.
Standardized test scores offer another perspective, but they too have limitations.
This discussion highlights the complexities involved in quantifying human capital and the need for multiple measures to provide a more comprehensive picture.
Acemoglu then examines the empirical evidence on the relationship between human capital and economic growth. The vast body of research on this topic overwhelmingly suggests that human capital accumulation is a strong predictor of economic growth.
This finding underscores the importance of human capital as a driver of economic prosperity and supports the argument for policies that promote human capital development.
However, measuring the causal impact of human capital on economic growth can be challenging.
It's difficult to isolate the effects of human capital from other factors that also influence economic growth, such as technological progress, institutional quality, and macroeconomic policies.
This challenge highlights the need for sophisticated econometric techniques to disentangle these various factors and accurately assess the contribution of human capital to economic growth.
Acemoglu then discusses the policy implications of the relationship between human capital and economic growth. The strong empirical link between human capital and economic growth has significant implications for policymakers.
It suggests that investments in education, training, and other human capital development initiatives can have a substantial impact on economic growth and prosperity.
This finding reinforces the importance of government policies that support human capital accumulation, including investments in high-quality education systems, affordable and accessible training programs, and policies that encourage lifelong learning.
Acemoglu then shifts his focus to the concept of technological change, a fundamental driver of economic growth and societal transformation.
Technological change encompasses the process of innovation, invention, and diffusion of new technologies. It's a complex and multifaceted phenomenon with far-reaching implications for economic performance, living standards, and the structure of society itself.
Acemoglu discusses the different types of technological change, including product innovation, process innovation, and organizational innovation. He also explores the factors that influence the pace and direction of technological change, such as scientific advancements, research and development investments, and market competition.
This exploration highlights the interplay of various forces that shape the trajectory of technological progress, and it underscores the importance of understanding these forces to foster innovation, and harness the benefits of new technologies.
Acemoglu then delves into the relationship between technological change and economic growth, widely recognized as a primary engine of economic prosperity and improved living standards.
Technological change can lead to increased productivity, new products and services, and the expansion of markets, driving economic growth and raising overall well-being.
Acemoglu explores the mechanisms through which technological change contributes to economic growth, explaining how new technologies can lead to more efficient production processes, the creation of new industries, and the opening of new markets.
This analysis underscores the transformative power of technological change and its ability to drive economic progress.
Acemoglu also discusses the concept of creative destruction, a term coined by economist Joseph Schumpeter to describe the process by which new technologies displace old technologies.
This process is a key feature of capitalist economies, as it leads to the destruction of existing industries and the creation of new ones, driving innovation and economic growth, but also creating challenges for workers and firms that are displaced by these technological advancements.
It highlights the dynamic and disruptive nature of technological change, and it underscores the need for policies that support workers and firms in adapting to these changes.
Acemoglu then explores the role of research and development in promoting technological change. Research and development, or R&D, refers to the activities undertaken to create new knowledge and technologies. It's a crucial driver of innovation, and investments in R&D are essential for generating technological progress.
Acemoglu discusses the different types of R&D, including basic research, applied research, and development, and he explores the factors that influence the effectiveness of R&D investments.
These factors include the quality of research institutions, the availability of skilled researchers, and the level of government support. Creating an environment that supports R&D is essential for fostering innovation and driving technological progress.
Acemoglu then discusses the role of intellectual property rights in promoting technological change. Intellectual property rights, or IPRs, grant inventors exclusive rights to their creations, such as patents, copyrights, and trademarks.
These rights can provide incentives for innovation by allowing inventors to capture the economic benefits of their creation.
However, they can also create monopolies and hinder competition, leading to higher prices and reduced consumer welfare.
This tension highlights the trade-offs involved in designing intellectual property rights regimes, and it underscores the need to strike a balance between incentivizing innovation and promoting competition.
Acemoglu then discusses the role of market structure in influencing technological change. Market structure refers to the number and size of firms in an industry and the degree of competition.
Market structure can have a significant impact on the pace and direction of technological change, as different market structures can create different incentives for firms to innovate.
Acemoglu explores how different market structures, such as monopolies, oligopolies, and competitive markets, can affect innovation incentives.
This exploration highlights the importance of competition in driving technological progress, as competitive markets tend to incentivize firms to innovate in order to gain a competitive edge.
Acemoglu then discusses the role of government policy in promoting technological change. Government policies can play a vital role in fostering technological change by providing funding for R&D, offering tax incentives for innovation, and supporting education and training programs that equip workers with the skills needed to thrive in a technologically advanced economy.
These policies can help to create a more conducive environment for innovation and technological progress, driving economic growth and improving living standards.
Acemoglu explores the different types of government interventions and their effectiveness in promoting innovation, highlighting the importance of carefully designing policies to maximize their impact and avoid unintended consequences.
He emphasizes the need for policies that are evidence-based, flexible, and responsive to the evolving needs of the economy.
Acemoglu then discusses the measurement of technological change, acknowledging that it is a challenging task with no single perfect measure.
Various approaches are used to measure technological change, such as patent counts, R&D spending, and productivity growth.
Each measure has its limitations, and it's important to consider the strengths and weaknesses of different measures when assessing technological progress.
Acemoglu then discusses the empirical evidence on the relationship between technological change and economic growth. The vast body of empirical research on this topic overwhelmingly suggests that technological change is a major driver of economic growth, confirming the importance of innovation for economic prosperity and supporting the argument for policies that promote technological progress.
However, Measuring the causal impact of technological change on economic growth can be challenging, as it's difficult to isolate the effects of technological change from other factors that also influence economic growth, such as human capital accumulation, institutional quality, and macroeconomic policies.
This challenge highlights the need for sophisticated econometric techniques to disentangle these various factors and accurately assess the contribution of technological change to economic growth. Acemoglu then discusses the policy implications of the relationship between technological change and economic growth. The strong empirical evidence linking technological change to economic growth has significant implications for policymakers, suggesting that policies aimed at promoting innovation can have a substantial impact on economic growth and prosperity.
This finding reinforces the importance of government policies that foster innovation, including investments in R&D, support for education and training, and the creation of a favorable business environment that encourages entrepreneurship and risk-taking.
Acemoglu then introduces the concept of directed technological change, which suggests that technological change is not a random process, but rather is influenced by economic incentives and market forces.
This concept implies that technological change can be directed towards certain sectors or activities, depending on the relative costs and benefits of different types of innovation.
Acemoglu discusses the factors that influence the direction of technological change, such as relative factor prices, market size, and the availability of scientific knowledge.
He also explores the implications of directed technological change for economic growth and income distribution, highlighting the importance of understanding the forces that shape technological progress and how these forces can be influenced by policy interventions.
Acemoglu then delves into the concept of skill-biased technological change, which refers to technological change that favors skilled labor over unskilled labor.
This type of technological change has been a major driver of rising income inequality in many countries, as the demand for skilled labor has increased relative to the demand for unskilled labor.
Acemoglu explores the causes and consequences of skill-biased technological change, discussing how factors such as globalization, automation, and the decline of unions have contributed to its rise.
He also explores the policy implications, such as the need for investments in education and training to help workers adapt to the changing demands of the labor market and to mitigate the negative distributional consequences of skill-biased technological change.
Acemoglu then discusses the concept of capital-skill complementarity, which refers to the idea that capital and skilled labor are complementary factors of production.
This complementarity means that increases in the use of capital tend to increase the demand for skilled labor, amplifying the effects of skill-biased technological change on income inequality.
Acemoglu explores the implications of capital-skill complementarity for economic growth and income distribution, highlighting the importance of understanding the interactions between technology, capital, and labor in shaping economic outcomes.
This concept has implications for policies aimed at promoting both economic growth and equity, as it suggests that policies that focus solely on increasing capital investment without addressing skills development may exacerbate income inequality.
Acemoglu then discusses the concept of factor-augmenting technological change, which refers to technological change that increases the productivity of a specific factor of production, such as labor-augmenting technological change or capital-augmenting technological change.
This type of technological change can have significant implications for the distribution of income, as it can alter the relative returns to different factors of production.
Acemoglu explores the causes and consequences of factor-augmenting technological change, providing a framework for understanding how technological change can affect the relative earnings of different groups of workers.
This framework has implications for policies aimed at addressing income inequality, as it suggests that policies that promote technological change that complements the skills of a broad range of workers can help to mitigate the negative distributional consequences of technological progress.
Acemoglu then discusses the implications of directed technological change for economic policy.
The concept of directed technological change suggests that government policies can influence the direction of technological progress, potentially shaping the types of innovations that are developed and adopted.
This influence can have significant implications for economic growth, income distribution, and environmental sustainability.
Acemoglu explores the different policy instruments that can be used to direct technological change, such as R&D subsidies, tax incentives, and regulations.
These instruments can be used to encourage innovation in specific sectors or areas, such as renewable energy or healthcare, helping to steer technological progress towards socially desirable outcomes.
Acemoglu also discusses the challenges of evaluating the effectiveness of policies aimed at directing technological change. Evaluating these policies is a complex undertaking, as it can be difficult to isolate the effects of specific policies from other factors that influence technological change.
There are often unintended consequences and long lag times between policy implementation and observable outcomes.
This complexity underscores the need for rigorous evaluation methods and a willingness to adapt policies based on the evidence.
Acemoglu concludes his discussion of technological change by emphasizing the importance of understanding the forces that shape technological progress and the role of government policy in influencing these forces.
He highlights the potential for technological change to drive economic growth and improve living standards, but also acknowledges the challenges associated with managing the distributional consequences of technological change and ensuring that its benefits are shared widely.
Acemoglu's exploration of technological change provides a comprehensive framework for understanding this critical driver of economic growth and societal transformation.
It emphasizes the importance of innovation, the role of government policy, and the need to address the distributional consequences of technological progress.
Acemoglu's exploration of economic growth in Introduction to Modern Economic Growth is both comprehensive and insightful. He delves into complex topics, but his clear explanations and real-world examples make these concepts accessible and engaging.
He challenges us to think beyond simple explanations and to consider the multifaceted nature of economic growth.
We've covered a wide range of topics in this deep dive, from the stark disparities in global income and consumption to the crucial roles of institutions, human capital, and technological change.
We've seen how history, geography, and policy choices intersect to shape a nation's economic trajectory.
Acemoglu's analysis underscores the importance of understanding the interplay of these various factors and recognizing that economic growth is not simply a matter of increasing inputs, but of fostering an environment that enables sustained and equitable prosperity.
He encourages us to move beyond the traditional focus on physical capital and to recognize the crucial role of human capital and innovation in driving long-term economic growth.
Acemoglu's insights challenge conventional wisdom and encourage us to think critically about the factors that shape economic outcomes.
He reminds us that economic growth is not just a numbers game, but a complex process with profound implications for people's lives.
As we conclude this deep dive into Acemoglu's work, we're left with a deeper understanding of the complexities of economic growth and a renewed appreciation for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Acemoglu's book provides a valuable framework for understanding the dynamics of economic growth and the factors that contribute to sustained prosperity.
It challenges us to think critically about the choices we make as individuals, societies, and nations.
And it encourages us to pursue policies that promote innovation, human capital development, and institutional quality.
Ultimately, Acemoglu's work leaves us with a sense of optimism about the potential for economic growth to improve lives around the world.
But it also reminds us that achieving this potential requires a deep understanding of the forces that shape economic outcomes and a commitment to pursuing policies that foster inclusive and sustainable growth.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Introduction to Modern Economic Growth by Daron Acemoglu.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and thought-provoking.
Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring the fascinating world of economics.